Morning all. Tip number 4 is protein, carbohydrates, mostly carbohydrates. I want to talk about how carbohydrates are converted into energy, and to use a simple analogy on how our body processes food and stores it as energy is like we're born as a Ferrari, or we're born as Porsches. We're born as like the fastest machine on earth, and we only have super fuel. We can't store X amount of fuel more than what we need to use. So when we have meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, meal 4, meal 5, during the course of your day, small meals, your Porsche can only take $5 or per meal, or your Ferrari, $5 per meal. And every time you go and eat, you spend $10 at a bakery and you eat that food. But your Porsche can only use $5 worth of gas traveling from meal 1 to meal 2, from meal 2 to meal 3, meal 3 to meal 4. Every time you take an excess amount of fuel, it spills out to the outside. So you have your breakfast, and instead of having oats for breakfast or some fruit, you have, say, a pie and chips. Instead of taking in $5 worth of gas to help you travel from a short distance to a short distance, now you're taking an excess amount of energy. It's spilling out to the outside. You've taken in $10 worth of gas, $5 worth of gas spills out to the outside. The next meal you miss. The next meal at lunchtime you have something like baked potato, 2 pieces of fried chicken and some hot chips. $10 worth of gas spills out to the outside of your Ferrari or your Porsche. Do you understand what I'm talking about? The next meal you miss. You go home for dinner, and instead of eating dinner, you graze for the next 2, 3, 4 hours from the pantry. And this is fast releasing carbohydrates. So instead of taking in $5 worth of gas for your evening meal, because you're not doing anything except sit in front of the TV or sitting in a chair doing practically nothing, you're storing all of that energy. So instead of taking $5 worth of gas, you're taking around about $20, $30 worth of fuel. $25 worth of that fuel spills out to the outside, okay, of your vehicle. You do that for 5 years, you're no longer driving a Porsche or Ferrari, you're driving a bus. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay, so you keep doing that for another 10 years, you're no longer driving a bus, you're driving a truck and trailer, articulated transporter. You're driving a big rig. Remember that when you're taking an excess amount of carbohydrates, especially in the evening, it has got nowhere to go. Your body is so great at survival that it says, hey, I'm taking in all this fuel, store it, I'll use it later. And when you're not using it later, it's converting into fat and storing around your ass and your waist and everywhere else. You see, your body is so good at survival mechanisms, it wants to store that and use it later. It doesn't know when it's going to be fed. So we are overfeeding ourselves. Eliminate how much carbohydrates, especially fast-releasing carbohydrates. If it's from a lunch bar or a bakery, it's probably bad for you. Remember, no one can see their butt from behind, but everyone else can. So if you want to make your waist, your butt, your body a little bit smaller, eliminate how much carbohydrates you're consuming at night and watch how the scale and your clothes fit. All right, take care. Have a great weekend.